You've heard the news by now. We've announced Bearfest 2023. Disturbed, Breaking Benjamin, and Ginger joining us at USANA Amphitheater July 13th. And Lindsey and I had the honor of chatting with David Draiman about coming to play and a whole lot more. Check it out. Well, okay, first of all, let's talk about for a second the record. Thank you for calling out the elephant in the room, the donkey in the room, and everything in between in the room. Just going, we're divided and this has got to stop. Totally agree wherever you are. It's a great record, and one of my favorites though is the fact that Ann Wilson joined you. Like, Ann Wilson, one of the greatest.
Pretty damn mind-blowing for me personally. I mean, sometimes you take a swing and sometimes you connect, and thank God this time I did, because it was a very interesting serendipitous sort of series of events. First, her just even acknowledging that we existed by saying how she liked our cover of the Simon and Garfunkel tune, and then it was me and Bruce Dickinson and a few other guys who were in a thread on Twitter commenting about who we thought was the best female rock vocalist of all time. And of all of us said Ann, and she, responded, and she was very grateful and humbled by it, and whatever, she's only like, forget female. She's one of the greatest voices of all time, period. I mean, she truly, truly is. She transcends everyone and everything. And then I'm like, I'm only going to get this shot once. Let me ask. So I messaged her. I guess I did what they refer to as sliding into your DMs. I mean, I did, and I asked if she would, if she would be interested in collaborating. We were about to go into the studio, and that if there was a song that made sense, which I told her I would make sure that there would be one,
Yeah.
If she was into it, that I'd love to do something with her. And she was totally into it. So I'm like, all right. And we were just on the hard rock tip out of the gate with this thing. As you notice, the whole record's heavy except for that song. And even that song's somewhat heavy, but in its own way. But we weren't in ballad mode by any means. It was all, we were having so much fun just doing the old school stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was a tail end of the session, and Danny had this idea I said, please at least come up with one idea for me that's a ballad that I can try and write something to. And he's like, all right. And it was complex. It took me a little bit, and it took me towards the end of the session where my head wasn't in heavy world for a while. And I'm like, you know what? Our producer's editing, we're in the room, pull out the guitar. We started strumming, and I started humming a melody to it, and took me 2 or 3 tries to kind of hone in on it. But at the end of it, he was like, dude. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. And so I listened back to it, and I'm like, okay, all right. And I tracked the song initially all by myself, all my vocals. And listening back to it, and especially after how it came out lyrically, because it ended up becoming about reflective of Danny's previous relationship, and something that a lot of, I think, people can relate to, is, that loss that you can't quite let go completely, that you still are attached to. And, it just begged for the duet. I'm like, Danny, this is the one, we got to bring this to her. And I sent her it, and she immediately responded. Oh, and there's my mother trying to call me.
Hi, David's mom. Please, you got to get your mom. You do that.
Wait, no. I'm going to tell her.
Oh my God, no. It's your mom, dude.
Hold on.
Okay, you take your time.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her. Hold on, let me make.
This is beautiful.
The middle of an interview. Okay. let's keep going.
It's really, thank you so much. Speaking of, my parents would kill me if I
Oh,
didn't.
Jesus, she's still going. Sorry.
It's okay. Please do what you got to do.
No. She'll get it.
I told my parents I was talking to you, and they both, my mom goes, tell him I am in love with him. Sound of Silence brings me to my knees. Anything. Sorry. I was like, I'm not taking up his time to tell him that, but I'm doing it right now since your mom.
You know what? I gotta say, it's been a new wealth of experiences what that cover has done. It enabled me to go, somewhere with my voice I hadn't felt comfortable going in a very long time, and it opened so many people up to what we do, and I feel very, very blessed. So anytime I hear stuff like that, it just further reinforces that for at least one point in our career, we actually had lightning in a bottle.
Oh,
you know what I mean? And it was cool to have.
you're so humble. You had lightning in a bottle for quite a bit. But actually, I was listening to, I was playing Sound of Silence, your cover, and I said, I hope on this new record, Disturbed give us a ballad, because when they give us those ballads, they are good. And then boom, you drop with Ann Wilson. And thank you for sharing so much about, how that worked out. Incredible.
One of my favorite songs we've ever written, in all honesty. I love it.
It's beautiful. Yeah, great work on this new record, Divisive. You're welcome. And you had said that you were going to be touring in 2023, and I've just kind of been waiting here. The last time you were here in Salt Lake City, where we are, you played Vivint Arena, and and Sound of Silence. I remember looking around, distinctly seeing grown men just weeping, and I'm like, this is so beautiful to see everyone unite together like this, and really love that you put out that message. You continue to just bring people together, and it's one of my favorite things about seeing Disturbed live. You've got this power to do it. And we get
I tremendously enjoy that aspect of it. It's almost, there's a lot of people who would interpret what artists sometimes do, what musicians in particular sometimes do, as being somewhat selfish and self-serving. But in truth, without that effect that you just described, without being conscious of it and wielding it in a way that is, dare I say, responsible, and to be the vessel that for whatever reason, you've been the one chosen to allow this to flow through you. You are allowed to become the means that provides healing to 25,000 people within a 2-hour period of a night, that lets them transcend their challenges and all adversity and all of the division that may exist among them, that everybody fell in love with the same song they did for this maybe slightly different reasons, but very, very close to the same emotion. And they all share that from across the audience and across the room and across any divide you can imagine. That unity, that ability to bind people that transcends any belief or identity, there's nothing else in existence, in my humble opinion, that is like.
Well, I was gonna ask, what is it that feeling so divisive and recognizing that there, in our country, especially right now, we're very divided. What is it that keeps you going? But I'm guessing that what you just described is it.
I'm dying to go out there and play again. I'm training my ass off just to be able to do it with an exclamation point this time.
Oh yeah. What kind of?
Oh, like up in my cardio. I start with an actual trainer next week. Doing my little vocal lessons with my son. He helps, like he makes me focused to keep regimented with him. Otherwise I can let go of my own discipline. Sometimes he helps me be disciplined. So just really being, unfortunately I have to stop burning. So I'll just, that's okay. There's edibles. Edibles are good.
Yeah,
Not the same, but
it's okay. It'll get you there.
for the time being, for the
Right.
cycle. And then off cycle, I'll still churn and burn a little bit, but
Well, I was like, when you come here to Salt Lake, we can help you churn and burn. But if you got to take your break, I totally get it. A nice reset
oh
is
no,
good.
I'll definitely ingest something.
Okay. We'll make sure to get you the ingestibles.
I'm absolutely on board with that.
Okay. Well, you're talking about going on tour because you're going on tour and you're coming to Salt Lake July 13th. You're playing USANA Amphitheater, Disturbed and Breaking Ben in direct support. We're so excited to have you. I'm elated. I remember the last time you were here too, I brought up that it was pretty emotional. You brought somebody on the stage, a man that was in a wheelchair at the end of the show. And it's an experience. And I'm so excited to hear the new stuff, being played live, and you're putting so much.
We can't wait to play Bad Man. Oh my God. I'm dying to play that song.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was
the one we didn't get to do before the record came out, and then the single came out, and we still haven't been able to play it, and everybody's excited about it, and we want to play it.
We're gonna see you play it. I'm so excited to, once again have you come in, and thank you for including Salt Lake on your tour.
Oh, yeah.
We're just so excited to have you, and it's been an absolute honor to speak with you. I hope that everything's great, and that I'm just trying to be cognizant of you getting back to your mom.
Thank God. I look very blessed to still have my mom in my life, and my father too. We're every moment we get with our parents still in this world, we need to cherish for sure. So you are right. I am going to get back to them.
Please get back to your mom. Thank you so much, David. It's been an honor. Like I said, huge fan, and I can't wait to see you July 13th. 13th. I wonder if it's a Friday. I'll have to look it up. It'll be a lucky day for us, for sure.
There you go.
All right. Well, you take care. We'll see you soon.
All right. Take care. Thanks.
Bye.